Now, if you're like me and you like your sim racing, you know, if you really want to get into it and you're going to get to the same level, or high-end wheel or direct drive level, you're going to want yourself a really good, tidy rig. Because let's face it, the high-end wheels, they really will start shaking your simple like play seats and what have you around. And the bee's knees out there, I guess, which most people would recommend, will be something like the P1 rig that you see in front of you. And again, very good design, very sturdy. If you've got the money for one of these, then I would recommend absolutely. It's well thought out. Adjustability is awesome. It's a good product. However, if you're like me, £700-ish, plus or minus, it's a lot of money. And I've got plenty of other things I'd like to buy, and money's not growing on trees, unfortunately. So if I can save a bit of money, I will. So to do so, I've decided to look into building my own rig, similar to a P1, but a lot less. So rather than spending $700, it's going to come in at hopefully about the £400 mark without the seat. So again, you've got to budget the seat on top. And it's not going to look as fancy, shall we say, but it should be, in theory, as good as. So in this video, we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you what I've done to get me to the point where I'm going to be ordering a rig for myself, probably in the next week or so. And then we'll have a secondary video, which will then show the delivery, probably do a time-lapse video of me constructing the rig, and giving you my views on how it went, whether I failed by misordering anything, or whether there's things I would have done differently, or any extra things I didn't think of. So let's crack on, and let's see what we can come up with to get a good rig at a great price. So the first part, we need to kind of visualize what our rig is going to be, what kind of size we're going to go for, what kind of lengths we're going to need. So what we want to do, we want to go to this website, frameexpert.com, and under the solutions tab, we want to go in and we want to go to the downloads and get the Maytech download. So as you can see here, we've got the Maytech section here. Click on the download it, and we can get in and look at creating a rig for ourselves. So once you've got your Maytech software downloaded, you want to get it open, and this is what you're presented with. Now, I've already gone through some test rigs here, so that gives you an idea of where we are. Anyway, I'm going to go for metric drawing because that's just the way I prefer it. And we're going to start by building up the rig, and it's going to be from the ground up. So it's going to be the base, and then we'll do the chair mount, the pedal mount, the wheel deck. We're all going to have to build that. So what I do, let's get rid of that. Got to choose your parts. I find it easier to use this one. So we're going to use the 4080. And I know that my base needs to be at least 1400, as he clicks the wrong button. Stretch. Right. There we go. Copy. Control V. Right. Click on that to draw again. I need to connect. I need that to be 600. And I want another one to be 600. Wasn't a very good start, but we'll use that. And I want this to be about there. And then we right click on this one, and then we can drag that absolutely nowhere because it doesn't want to move. So again, we right click, highlight it, there we go. So let's have a closer look. So click and drag with the left, and that's your draw item. You can hold your middle mouse button, rotate, that's move up, down, left, right. Right mouse button rotates, basically. So you get the gist of it there. So that's the main deck part. We need to reposition this ever so slightly. And then we just rotate it, make sure we're all lining up. So when you get the blue bars, you know that you're all lined up. And these are hitting the metal. Sometimes you'll get a little metal clang to show that as well. Now, the base, or the wheel, not this wheel base, the seat base, we need to connect. And I need that to be 580, I think it was. Because it's all snap to grids, it can be a bit of a pain. So what I tend to do is just shift that down, right click and stretch, get the measurement I want. There probably is an easy way, but I'm happy doing it this way. 580, and then we can move that back. And I know I want that to be smack bang on, and I know I can copy and paste with Control-C, Control-V like usual. Right, so that's the base kind of done. We need to position this one better because that needs to be in line or just under. And make sure they're all touching, which they are. I'm pretty happy with that. Shows your connectors here, but we're not going to be using those connectors. We'll be using external ones. Right, so that's pretty much main part there. So again, we're going to draw up now. I need these to be, these are going to be the uprights, 700 high. And select on there, copy paste. And then we need to do another bar to connect. And again, we'll zoom in, make sure that's all lined up so we're slightly out. Select the bar, drag that over. So again, that's your wheel deck pretty much done. Now we're going to do the pedal mount. $250 maybe a little high, but you know what? I'd rather have it too high than not enough. And then we need $400. We'll just rotate that because it's easier. That one I'm not quite sure why it's not lining up, but we can do that afterwards. And you get the green face, that means you've hit the same face. This one, stretch. Click that again and stretch that because it's on the wrong one. There we go. So that's pretty much all lined up. So as you can see, this will pivot on this bar. You can position it up and down. You'll have a bracket underneath here, and that will mount on this line here. And again, that will pivot at that point to go up here. See the line I'm drawing? And the same by here. So your pedals will mount there, can shift backwards or forwards as you see fit. Your seat on here mount with sliders on these two. And then your your wheel deck up here. Now for the wheel deck, again, we're going to use 40 mils, but we're going to do, I think I decided on 300. Why? Because, well, when that's not going to be an exact science, but basically, zoom in a second. Didn't want to do that, did I? Delete that one because I don't want it. We're going to reposition this there. Reposition that one there. So as you can see, then we're going to have them mounted so we can slide this backwards or forwards. That should give us enough clearance. And then again, they'll be mounted either locked at the side or one at the back underneath and one at the front underneath, to give us enough clearance here. So when we sit in, we've got clearance to get our legs in front of the chair. Because obviously this is a straight bar, so we need to have the clearance. And again, if we haven't got enough, we can push these forward so they're mounted on here and give us the clearance underneath. So hopefully you agree that that's at least a good start for the rig. And then for the last bit, we need the arms. I'm going to do 350s. And this will be on a pivot. This will be fixed. This will be on a pivot. So as you can see, that's basically the rig, and we'll have a quick look around it. And really, you can see it's not that difficult to create. You know, you've got it there, all pretty much done and dusted. And if you want to change the design, you can change the foot plate, you can change how thick these are. But remember, the thicker these bars, the more expensive they are. So just bear that in mind as you're making it. I've kind of made it a compromise. I was thinking of maybe going for really thick at the bottom. But I didn't see the point. By the time you've got your seat adjuster on here as well, your seat's going to be rather high up anyway. We've got a bit of play, and we will have some spare slots. So if we need to raise the height here as well, we can. So what I'd like to do with this then is draw. We can do end caps. So we're going to make it look nice and tidy, because then you can have a rough idea of how many end caps you're going to need. They've made this a lot easier for the end caps than they did in the last one. So then that one went on. Let's rotate that. Missing end cap, missing end cap. So that is how it would look. With your end caps on, it doesn't look too bad. So hopefully you'll see, you know, you can now visualize what's going on with that rig. You can position it, you can space it, you can measure it more. You know, you've got your measuring tool, you've got your floor tool, you've got the fasteners. If you want to get that involved, you can do. But to me, the rest of it, I pretty much do from my own mind and, you know, work out on a piece of paper what I need. But at least this way, you're starting to get in your mind where you are and what you need and what you're going to do. You know, if you're going to stick to driving, then you could do away with this arm altogether and just have that. If you want to have speaker mounts, you can put a pole up here maybe and design speaker mounts to come out at the side. You know, the choice is yours. So from here, once you've got all your measurements, you can take it from here. So again, when you click here, I believe you can click on, I think it's properties. Click on a connector. There we are. And it tells you then the length in millimeters and the model. So 4080, 700. And again, 350, 4080, 250, 4040. So, you know, you've got all your measurements in there, and you can just put them into the website where you order it all, and we'll have a look at that shortly. Right, so here we are. This is the website where we're going to be ordering our parts from. This is probably best for us in the UK. For America, there are other sites. You'll have to check them out. There's probably other places where you can find out, but this really is a guide, and I should have said this at the beginning, more for the UK. But You'll find it helpful as well because it'll give you an idea and at least how to design and configure your own build. So this is hopefully I'm saying it correctly, Motedis in the UK website. Links up there at the top, and obviously here is where we're going to start the process of putting the pieces together in the order. And I'll give you a quick overview of what we're going to be going for. I haven't ordered everything through this website, and I'll explain why as I'm doing it. So first port of call is we need to order the tubing. So if we do slot profiles, now I'm basing my design around the I type, and you just click the standard profiles, and I'm going for the minimum 40/40, but first off we're going for the 40/80. And the way I recommend doing it is work out by using a complete bar. So you've got a total of 1980 millimeters to play with in a bar, but we want to try and use up as much as we can and leave as little over. So I know for the base we can do 1 times 1400. Add that in. We've got 576 remaining. Now, on what we've got remaining, we can't do a 580, we can't do the 600s, we can't do the 700s we need, but we could do the 350. So we'll do the 350, add that in. So that gives us a 222 remaining, which we could use as spare, because by ordering this, whatever you order here, whatever's remaining comes back as well to you as a spare cut. And I'm kind of enjoying the thought of having spare cuts because it means you might be able to tailor the rig a bit more later on, or perhaps you find you've ordered a piece that's too big and you may need a slightly smaller piece. So this could come in handy. Whereas if you do the cutting, they'll cut the lengths that you need. It'll charge you a little bit more, but obviously you won't get the wastage cut either. So we're going to need 2 lots of these because we need, that's the long edge of the base. The 350 is going to be the shifter arms, and that's going to be spare. So we go for 2 of those, add to cart. And straight away, you can see the pricing coming in. Now, it works out your shipping, it works out your VAT, so it gives you the total as you go. So you know what you're paying for up front. Then there's no real hidden side of it. Rather than choose the slot and choosing again, I click on the same one again, complete bar. We need what? 2 times 600. Add. We've got 772, perfect. 1 times 700. Add. Now I know that we're going to need 4 600s, 2 700s. So we got 2. Add another bar, that gives us 4. 1, add another bar, gives us the 2. So we just add 2 of those, add to cart. And again, we've only got a small 68, hardly worth keeping, but because we're ordering it this way, we're making sure we get everything that we need. So again, we're up to 185. And that's quite a big chunk of the rig done already. I mean, that's going to be the base completed, the uprights done, the arms for the shifters. The only thing that's left then really are the seat mounts at 580. Now, slight problem here is because I want to use the profile here, the 80 profile, it means we're going to have to order it this way and have quite a bit of runoff. However, I've been thinking about this for myself. So if we order here the 2 times 580s, add that in. That leaves us with 812. But if we do 2 times 370s, these could be slightly longer shifter arms, or we might use them as supports elsewhere on the rig. So it's just the 1 bar we're ordering because we got the 2 580s for the seat mounts. And this is all spare cuts. Now, if you want to, if you think, you know what, I wouldn't mind having just a little mount off the side of the rig somewhere, and you wanted to make it out of that remaining length, you could make that any length you want. So if there's something in the back of mind you're thinking, oh, maybe a base shaker mount, actually it's not a bad idea. You could use these lengths then to help. Now for me, I've made just 2 simple bars because I was thinking the 350 may be a little bit too short, maybe a bit too long, but if it's too short, I'll have something longer. So I'm using those as spares just in case. More than likely though, they're not going to be in use. So again, we're happy with that, where I am at least. Add to cart. And we're at 244 so far, and that's a big chunk of the rig. Then now we need to order in the foot plate side of it. So choose your slot again. We're going for the 40. So on the 40s, this is where I've got to get this right now. So it's complete bar. We're doing 1 times 520, if I remember correctly. Add 1 times 300. Add 1 times, there's a 400 as well, which I forgot. Add that in. There's the 250, which are the footplate angle brackets. 1 times 250. Add. So that leaves us with 494. We've got the 520, 400. Got to think now it's 40. Yeah, so we've got 400 spare basically, so we'll keep that as 1 times 430. No, hold on, I'm typing in the wrong box. 1 times 430. Add that in. This one again is going to be a spare cut. That leaves us with 60 left over. I'm going to get 2 of these because what we're going to do, we're going to double up on these because we need 2 of everything here. And the spare is just to make up the bar. And for this, you know, if I need a particular length for anything, if I need to cut that down myself, I've got a nice long length of the 4040 that I can add. So add that in. Now, that's at least all the metal for the rig pretty much on order. £285 delivered, which is kind of good. You can then go to slot profile accessories and connectors. Now you can get angle brackets. Now you can order the brackets here. If you want to kind of save money, you can go on eBay. There are guys on eBay who will sell these brackets a lot cheaper. So here, if you were to order say 50 brackets to connect everything in, because you either go for single or the double brackets, you're probably looking at a good £40 on their own for the 50 brackets. Go on eBay though, you can probably halve that price down to about £20, £28, you know. So there's a saving to be had there. The bolts, probably better off ordering from eBay, they'll work out cheaper for you. Plenty of people on eBay who sell them, so I'd recommend getting the M8 16mm bolts, and you're going to need in the region of about 150 bolts, maybe a bit more, but again, you'll have to calculate what you're fitting and calculate how many bolts you need and get some extra obviously on top. $10 pieces, let's say we want 50, 5 bags, add to cart. So as you can see, 39.29. So that starts pushing up the price quite a bit. So by the time you add the VAT on top, it's going to push it up. So to me, it seems better to get them through the likes of eBay. So if we remove that, although I wish I ticked on that right option. Right, so for me, let's have a look through. Where are we? There's plenty here. You've got the caps, which you can add in if you want them. You don't have to have the caps, but it does keep the rig looking a lot tidier. So the brackets and the screws we're getting elsewhere, so we're going to ignore those on here. What I do want, to give extra strength to the support beams, to the uprights, we're going to use 2 of these. Let's click on it again. This website can be a little slow at times, so you can get black if you want to. Actually, what's the price difference? $2. Add to cart. That's not bad, actually. So we'll go for 2 of those in black. And what else are we going to need? I'm trying to think now. See if I can find it. I can never find this one I want to. Search. There we are. Now I need a couple of spare of these, but I'm also thinking, you know what? I could get these. T5mm. And use them as brackets to mount, say, the shifter on, or maybe the throttle and the flight stick too. So I'm going to get 6 because I need a couple spare for my monitors. So looking there now, we're up to 325. That's not bad. And we now need a pivot joint for the arm on the left. Searching. So we need the 4080. And we only need the one of those. Add. So we're getting there. £346 all in so far. We've got the VESA mounts, pivot joints. I need to go back to here. Let's go to accessories. Got to keep an eye out now because we've got to get the little sliders, the T-nuts, so we can lock everything in with the screws that we're buying elsewhere. Yes, you can buy these T-nuts from elsewhere. However, I haven't found anywhere that does a decent price. So I'd probably recommend get them from here because it's just easier. I'm umming over these angle, because they may come in handy for the foot plate. So I may add them in at the end. Maybe only 2. Maybe 4. I'm not entirely sure. There we are. M8s. T-nut guided. These are the cheap ones. $26.20. Click on them. So you can either buy a bag, so you get 100 units in a bag, or you can order them individually. So if you go for a bag, one of, add. Let's go back in because we need more than that. And I'm thinking an extra 50 to be safe. So far, we're at the £389 mark. So the only other options then for reference, I'm guessing, are going to be the cover caps. So if we go back into the accessories, and let's have a quick look for caps. So with them 40 by 40, I'm thinking we're looking at about 10 of those. So we go for a piece because we don't need 100, that's for sure. So 10, add in. And if we go back into these, and we just want to find some 40 by 80 ones. Let's try the third page. Nope, fourth page. Try the fifth page. All right, where did I see them? Was it the second page then? There we are. Weather strip, weather strip. 40, 40. Ah, there we are. 40 by 80. I think they're the only ones we can go for. You can get these weather strips to kind of block off the pipe as well, but I'm not too bothered with that. Just slide the hoover over the top of it. It sucks out all the dust in 2 seconds flat. It's not a problem. With those, I think we're looking about a piece, about 15, 16. Yeah, so we're at 398. So looking at this now, we've got all the metalwork ordered. We've got black, which I didn't think of setting black up in my order, so I might actually alter that. We got the one joint only, we got the T-nuts, and that is basically it. And if you're happy with that, then go through, check out, log in, create an account, all that jazz, and you'll get yourself your rig delivered usually in about 2-3 weeks, depending on how busy they are. So yeah, that is basically it. That's a quick overview of how to look at ordering your rig. And as I say, I'm in the process of checking mine off. I'll probably be placing my order now either Monday or towards of the end of next week. And what I'm planning on doing is coming back, and we'll look at the construction and how it goes together. So if you want to follow through because you're interested and you think of doing your own, you're more than welcome to follow. Just hit the notifications, subscribe, and you'll get all the updates with that. And we'll see together whether I did the right thing. And if not, how I managed to fix it, and if I managed to fix it. So it might be an interesting project. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.